Hello everyone, I'm here to help you with some basic brass maintenance techniques. Many of you probably feel uncomfortable working on brass instruments, yet I'm going to show you just a few things that you can be competent with, and I guarantee when you get your first teaching job you're going to run into these issues. So the things that we need to talk about will be the tools, 4 in particular that are in front of you. Then there is that sound. There's that sound that you hear in your band room and you won't like it, which will bring us right to what is the bobcat. We'll get into that. What is the bobcat? Which will segue into the stuck mouthpiece. And yes, you will be freeing 4 to 7 stuck mouthpieces on a daily basis. So you should get comfortable with this. And quite frankly, it's really quite easy. And then there's the bonus round. I call it Final Jeopardy. And this is, I will show you what the mouthpiece gap is. So first, let's talk about 4 tools that you're going to want in your band room. This is, for those of you who took percussion techniques, a chime mallet. Made out of rawhide, not out of metal, and you're going to want one of these, and I will show you later why. This is the mouthpiece mandrel, and you'll note it is tapered, and therefore will work on any brass mouthpiece. And you're going to want one of these. This is a mouthpiece brush. Naturally, you're going to want one of these. And then, of course, there's the bobcat, officially known as the mouthpiece puller of the stars. That's the bobcat right there. So, what you say to yourself is, Mr. Kashnik, what in the world are you talking about when it comes to that sound you don't want to hear in any band room? That's the sound. You'll hear it every day. That's the sound of somebody who's taking a mouthpiece that's really dangerously close to being perfectly round and dropping it in such a way that now it's got a flat spot. And maybe you can't quite see the flat spot, but trust me, it's there. And it's really pretty easy to fix. As you can imagine, something that's not round will not fit well into the trumpet such as this, which we'll get into. So the first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to take your mouthpiece mandrel and you're going to insert, and you're just going to turn it until it turns very easily. And then you're going to note that there's one little spot there that has a tendency to be a little high, and that's where you need your rawhide hammer. And you're going to tap that spot down on your mandrel. And you're going to continue to turn, and now it comes right off, and voila, nice and round again. Trust me, you're going to be seeing a lot of that when you start teaching. As long as we're there, maybe we should sanitize that brass mouthpiece. So you're going to take your mouthpiece brush and you're going to push out all those French fries that were left over from last year. And there's probably a little Chick-fil-A that's still in the throat, so we're going to knock that out. And tap it in case a couple of bugs fall out of there. And that should take care of it. And now we're going to sanitize. If you've been on Spaceship Earth the last 9 months, you probably have seen this product right here. We're wiping everything down with that, including our pets. And we will take the mouthpiece and we will now literally sanitize the shank, the bowl, and the rim. So now that mouthpiece is straight. It will fit into the trumpet, and it's nice and sanitized. So we'll set that aside, And we'll turn this over, and now we'll sanitize our hands because we don't know where that mouthpiece has been. Okay, next, you're going to see a lot of this sort of thing. That is what we refer to as, Dad, my mouthpiece is stuck. Can you get my mouthpiece out? And Dad's going to say, well, sure, I can do that. That mouthpiece, I'll get that out right away. And then Dad proceeds with a variety of maybe pipe wrenches. And Dad breaks the brace right there. So he says, oh, no problem with that. I'll just duct tape it. Not a good idea. And he continues to wrestle with it and breaks yet another brace right there. He breaks that one. So I'll just duct tape that. Gives it back to the son or daughter and says, yeah, sorry, couldn't get the mouthpiece out. If your little Frankenstein had gone to you and you had pulled out your Bobcat mouthpiece puller, you could have pulled that mouthpiece and saved this costly repair. This is a repair that's not going to come to you, it's going to come to me. So I make another mortgage payment, it's okay. Not really. So the Bobcat is designed in such a way that it's cupped right here so that it will fit literally around the cup of the mouthpiece that is stuck in the trumpet, or stuck in the baritone horn, or stuck in the horn, French horn, or the tuba. One size will do it all. Then you have this bottom section here, and these little black pieces are adjustable. And you can tighten them down. So now what you're doing is you have what we'd like to refer to as a really nice, fancy corkscrew. And we're slowly going to be turning these clockwise. And we're going to put a little bit of pressure on this receiver right here, which is fine. That's what the design is all for. And just a little bit like that, and voila, out comes the mouthpiece. Now you're probably saying to yourself, oh yeah, that guy's pulled 1,000 mouthpieces, which is probably not true. I probably pulled more like 5,000 mouthpieces, and he makes it look so easy. So having said all of that, we're going to do it one more time. Now this is something you do not do. But for the moment in time, just so that I can show you how stuck mouthpieces can get, that one's stuck. Believe me. Don't do that at home. And we're going to take our Bobcat. Everybody should have a Bobcat. And we're going to make sure, once again, make sure this tapered area right there fits under the mouthpiece, just like so. And we're going to tighten this down. See here, tightening this down. Tighten, 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 tighten. So now Bobcat is secure. I'll get that a little closer for you. Secure. And just like taking cork out of a bottle, slowly going clockwise. And now all of a sudden there's some tautness. It's tight. And now each one gets a little bit of a push. A little bit. And guess what? Boom. Just like that. Bobcat saves the day once again. And the mouthpiece is free and clear. So that should help you with respect to fixing mouthpieces, i.e. trumpet mandrel, brass mandrel, in the event that they need to be clean and sterilized. You're definitely going to want to get a mouthpiece brush. And in the event that the mouthpiece gets stuck, your Bobcat. Now it's time for the final Jeopardy round. And that is, what is the mouthpiece gap? And what that means is that's the difference from the mouthpiece that goes in here and the distance between that and where this lead pipe ends inside of the receiver. So lead pipe, brace, receiver, and mouthpiece. So we all know that this mouthpiece is going to sit in here securely. And now, just so that I can show you this, I've just set this up so the receiver would come off. So we know that the receiver is going to go right to where this marking is, right about there, right about there. And now we know that if I were to remove this receiver, which I will do, the distance from the end of here to the beginning of this mouthpiece is known as our mouthpiece gap. Ready for it? Here comes the magic. You don't want to miss this. And there it is. There's your mouthpiece gap. So if this mouthpiece were right up against the end of the lead pipe, there would be no mouthpiece gap. And that's a bad thing. If it were quite a distance away, that would be too much mouthpiece gap. I show this to you because A, a lot of people say, oh, I know what the gap is. Well, I hope so. And B, they say it doesn't really matter what mouthpiece I put into my instrument. Well, they would be incorrect. So once again, the distance, mouthpiece, receiver, lead pipe, receiver, mouthpiece. Line this up, and there you have it. And our gap looks to be roughly 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters. And that is your final Jeopardy question on trumpet and mouthpiece gap. I hope this has been helpful. The next round, we're going to be talking about valves are your friend. And believe me, they're not as complicated as they seem. Hope you're well. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about any of this. I'm Mr. Claude Kashnig. I teach low brass, tuba and euphonium at the University of Central Florida, and I'll be more than happy to help you with any questions you might have with respect to brass basic maintenance techniques. Until the next time, good luck. Chime mallet. Bobcat. Mouthpiece mandrel. Mouthpiece mandrel. There it is. And of course, right there, right there, right there, right there. Mouthpiece brush.